In July 2018, Valerie Harper walked onto a set for the last time. She was 79 and dying. Cancer had spread to her brain 6 years earlier. Doctors said she had months to live, but there she was, filming a comedy about sex toys. The crew couldn't believe it. Her lines were perfect. Her timing was flawless. But something was different. The way she moved, the way she paused between words. Fans who saw that final episode noticed it immediately. They said she looked like she was saying goodbye. What happened during those final moments would shock everyone who knew her. She was born on August 22, 1939 in a place called Suffern, New York. The name felt like a joke. Valerie Harper came into the world when her parents were expecting a boy. But when they saw her, they chose a name inspired by tennis stars Valerie Scott and Kay Stammers, who had won a doubles match that very same day. Her father, Howard, was a traveling lighting salesman who later became president of Durotest Corporation. Her mother, Eva, was a Canadian nurse from Saskatchewan. She had grown up on the cold, rugged frontier. From the very beginning, Valerie's life never stayed in one place. Before she finished high school, her family moved 8 times. When she was just 2, they left Northampton, Massachusetts, and moved to South Orange, New Jersey. Then they went to California, then Michigan, then Oregon, then New Jersey again. Every new place meant a new school, new people, and the need to adapt fast. Her father was gone most of the time, always on the road. Her mother had to raise the kids almost alone. Valerie learned early how to read a room, how to adjust her personality, and how to blend in. That skill would become her superpower. Just 2 years old, she took her first dance class in South Orange. Something clicked. By the time they moved to New York, she was obsessed with ballet. She trained hard at the top studios in Manhattan. At 15, she made it into the Corps de Ballet at Radio City Music Hall. That meant she was dancing on stage in one of the most famous theaters in America alongside 36 girls in shining tutus. This wasn't a hobby. This was survival. Dance gave her structure, gave her control. When her family later moved to Oregon, Valerie stayed behind. In New York, she was still a teenager, but she chose her dream over comfort. She commuted from Jersey City to Manhattan several times a week while attending Lincoln High School. In 1956, she began dancing professionally at Radio City. She was just 16. The Radio City competition was brutal. The audition process was intense. Hundreds of girls tried out. Only 36 made it, and Valerie was one of them. She danced through exhaustion, through pain, through rejection. Dancers didn't last long. Injuries, weight pressure, and age pushed them out fast. The pay was low. The hours were long, and nobody cared if you burned out. Valerie saw it all. Some girls developed eating disorders, some left broken, but Valerie stayed. In 1956, she got her first role on Broadway, joining the cast of Lil Abner. As a replacement, she wasn't part of the original cast, which meant she had to step in at a moment's notice when someone else got injured or left. That wasn't unusual, but it was hard. You had to learn the moves fast, perform without full rehearsals, and never complain. But someone noticed her. Michael Kidd, the choreographer. He would go on to cast her again, which helped her move up from background dancer to someone they actually remembered. She was also in the 1959 film version of the show, her first time on screen. Her big turning point didn't come on stage, though. It came with comedy. In the mid-1960s, she joined Second City in Chicago. That's where she met her first husband, Dick Shaw. They toured together performing improv comedy that was raw, real, and full of heart. One night in Toronto, she played a character who had a catatonic fit and had to stay frozen while the audience laughed. That moment changed her. She realized comedy could be more powerful than dance, could connect pain with laughter. That's when she knew she had found her voice. She and Shaw later moved to Los Angeles in 1968 and even wrote an episode of Love American Style together. That mix of timing, instinct and character work would become her trademark. But not everything worked out. She came close to big Broadway roles and lost them. One of the worst moments came when she was cast in Destry Rides Again and had to quit because of illness. She had put everything into that opportunity only to watch it slip away. Broadway was brutal. Like that, one small problem could end your chances. Valerie auditioned for many parts she didn't get. She faced rejection constantly. Still she kept pushing. Just the fact that she was even being considered for lead roles meant she had already risen above the crowd. But in show business, talent isn't always enough. You need luck, you need timing, and you need the strength to keep going when it all falls apart. She married Richard Shaw in 1964. Most people think they met on the set of the Dick Van Dyke Show, but that happened 2 years later in 1966. By then they were already husband and wife. He was 14 years older than her, and he'd come from Chicago's Second City comedy scene where he started in 1962. That age gap didn't stop them from building something powerful. They didn't just share a home, they wrote together. In 1970 they co-wrote an episode called Love and the Visitor for Love American Style. During their 14-year marriage, he showed up in several episodes of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, playing completely different characters. One of them was Chuckles the Clown. Valerie, of course, played Roa. Even after their marriage ended in 1978, they remained close. She once called it a good divorce on national television. Her audition for the Mary Tyler Moore Show wasn't even supposed to happen. The producers were tired. They'd already seen so many actresses for the role of Roa. Then someone said, "Just one more look." That's when she walked in. She later said it was the easiest audition of her life. At the time, Roa was supposed to look plain. Valerie was too beautiful. But she changed how she walked, how she talked, how she stood. She didn't just act like Roa. She became her. They originally wrote Rhoda as tough and sarcastic but lovable. And Valerie pulled that off so well that even when she lost weight during the second season, the writers rewrote her character to match. That one audition in 1970 didn't just change her life. It helped shape television history. What made Roa so real on screen wasn't just Valerie's acting. It was the chemistry she had with Mary Tyler Moore. You could feel it. And it wasn't fake. Off-screen, they were friends. Real friends. Valerie once said that Rhoda always looked up to Mary. The writers leaned into that dynamic. They made Rhoda feel a little less perfect, a little more insecure, which made her even more relatable. Valerie won 3 Emmy Awards in a row for playing Roa on the Mary Tyler Moore Show in 1971, 1972, and 1973. Then when the spin-off Roa began in 1974, she won again in 1975, this time as lead actress. That made her the only person in Emmy history to win both lead and supporting for the same character. She got 8 nominations total for Roa and won 4 times, all between 1971 and 1975. And that bond with Mary lasted. In 2023 years after the Mary Tyler Moore Show ended, they reunited for Mary and Rhoda, a made-for-TV movie.